With the release of the album Hymns of the Unholy just before Halloween, Cult of the Lamb re-entered the public mind stronger than ever. And with that, my obsession for the game consumed me for the past few weeks, like a greedy mushroom on a tree stump. So let me tell you about this game and why you should play it. Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike, strategy and resource managing game where you are a lamb in a service of a banished god. Your goal? Kill all the other gods, build your own cult, and free the god you are in service of. Sounds pretty simple, right? Visuals and atmosphere. Even though simple, the art style of Cult of the Lamb is very consistent with its own rules. The colors are beautiful and the character designs are very well executed, especially for the bishops and witnesses. The animation for each and every character is smooth, nothing is choppy. Visually the game is extremely appealing. I mean, look at it, look at it! This is eye candy in my opinion. Let's talk about the game music. It's good. The main theme is so relaxing that I found myself just vibing at the camp and placing decorations around for long periods of time. The soundtrack has 61 songs, not including the new album that you can buy on Steam. I'm not sure if the soundtrack comes with the base game, because when I got the game I bought all the available DLCs at the same time. I bought a bundle. But it is safe to say that when playing this game you will be immersed in its world. Themes and story. Talking about the world, let me tell you about the world building, story and the themes of this game. I don't want to spoil too much, so I will keep as much of the story as I can for myself. So, as I said at the beginning, you are a lamb, the last of your kind, on a quest to slay literal gods. Century-old beings capable of unimaginable things. The gods you are after are the personifications of chaos, famine, pestilence, and conquest. With every single god you slay, you yourself become more powerful and closer to releasing your own god, the god of death. Only the question is, will you? Every creature you encounter in the game, from your cultists to the vendors to the bishops themselves, seem to have a role in everything you do and learn in this world. And that's great! I love being able to slowly get to know this world, opening up parts of the map and new vendors to interact with, learning new things from bits of dialogue and old tablets. I love to slay every enemy in my way while understanding how every biome in the game tells me different stories about the bishop I am after at the moment. Now, if you are a hardcore lore enjoyer, I am looking at you all Warhammer fanatics out there, I have to be honest. There are a few plot holes and unanswered questions to deal with. Also, the depth at which the story goes isn't Mariana's Trench, but it is deep enough to get you curious and wanting more and more as you go. Because the developers are releasing new DLCs as we go, new story elements are bound to be released, so you'll never run out of topics to theorize about. Which is great for the lore connoisseurs like myself. Editing Ember here for a short intervention. When writing the script, I forgot to add that, and this is a very personal and very subjective opinion, the themes of the game, which include the occult and scene, are to me extremely appealing and what made me buy the game in the first place. The simple idea of building your own cult was very appealing to someone like myself who loves all things dark. Also, a lot of the enemies are very Lovecraftian and named after actual demons like Baal and Astaroth. So, you know, if that's something that speaks to you, consider buying the game. Gameplay. The way I would describe the game is easy to pick up. It's good at explaining what things are and how to use your weapons, but it doesn't hold your hand everywhere you go. It's also well designed in such a way that 90% of the things you do are very intuitive. Because it is a source management game, grind is something you will have to think about. But it's not a grindy game. The amount of grind is very tame, but present. It balances perfectly the satisfaction of slaying a roguelike provides, together with the satisfaction a base building game gives. You have high adrenaline moments and low intensity, chill times, where you are trying to figure out where to put this great statue you just made, or, you know, the pot of flowers or your farm. Micromanaging your cult can sting from time to time, when you have to clean up poop and make food for your followers, but the other positives of the game make up for that. The progression is split into multiple skill, building and ritual trees, together with the story, which in my opinion is very, very good and provides the perfect amount of progression satisfaction. Let's talk about the combat itself. You have your weapon, spells, and special attacks together with some bonuses you can get from your fleece. On a keyboard, the game can be a bit difficult, and I found out playing with a keyboard really makes my experience worse. But I think with a controller it will be overall better experience. The game also says that the best experience you can have is with a controller. Some of us don't have that, sadly. Enemies have different and multiple attacks that can be a bit basic at times, especially for roguelike diehards. But for everybody else, I think it's Mario. The bosses are cool, with cool stages and attacks, but don't think Souls, think Risk of Rain 2. Cult of the Lamb reminds me of a more manageable Risk of Rain 2. No, watch all the Risk of Rain diehards tell me in the comments that it's not like it. Oh well. Cult of the Lamb is, in my opinion, the best game to get into roguelikes. It's not overly hard, but it is challenging enough to make you happy to progress the game further. And the downtime it provides at your base can feel like a breath of fresh air when coming back from one of your crusades. Side note, the game also provides you with mini games like fishing and knuckle bones to get gold or food, which is great. Variety is always great. And talking about variety, the customization in this game is crazy good. There are over 70 different forms your follower can take in the main game. And there are another 20 or so with some of the DLCs. That's nearly 100 different animals that your followers can be. And every single one of them has also 3 variants and like 10 different colors. The lengths you can go with customization is crazy. Same with your base. Decorations are just way too many to list here. Editing Ember here again. For the streamers out there, the game also has a Twitch integration system, so yeah, do what you want with that information. I don't stream, so it wasn't very relevant to me at the time of recording, but if you do, keep that in mind. Community. The community is, from what I've seen on Reddit and YouTube, active, respectful, and generally great. Same with the developers. Massive Monster are doing a great job posting animations and videos about the game and interacting with their audience. If I'm not mistaken, they married some people last summer even. They are great and should be supported, especially since they got actual great musicians making the album Hymns of the Unholy, the one I mentioned at the beginning of the video. They got metal legends like Matthew Heafy, yeah, that Matthew, from Trivium, helping write and perform those songs. You don't even have to like the game. If you're a metalhead, you will fall in love with this album. So by any means, go check out the game and the music. Should you buy it? So, final thoughts. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why am I talking about a game that came out nearly 2.5 years ago? First, because I'm a skeptic. I never buy games as they come out. I wait at least a few months, and depending on how they progress, I buy or do not buy them. For Cult of the Lamb, it was really more a scheduling thing. I had the game in my wishlist for years before buying it at the beginning of this summer, but I only got around to playing it around July or August. I actually never intended to make a video about it, but with the release of Hymns of the Unholy, again the album, I wanted to replay it and yap about it, so that's what I did. So, is the game good? Yes, absolutely. Does it have bugs? No, actually, I don't think I've ever seen a bug in the game. Well, with a few exceptions. Is it worth the price? Well, for $50? Well, wait a second. Okay, let me check this. Okay, so the base game is around $20 to $25, but the DLCs and extras are costly. I paid around 45 euros for the bundle when I got it, which is around $50. You don't have to buy the bundle or all the DLCs if you want to enjoy the game, but I did buy them because I wanted to support the people at Massive Monster. I do think that the game is worth its price. And if you find it on sale, sure, you go for it. But I chose to pay full price. The studio deserves it. And you deserve a cool game to play. That's why you should buy it. And if you do buy it or already play the game, tell me about your base, your followers, or anything you'd like to add in the comments, because that's why they are there. Happy gaming, and Ember out.